Hello, this is the third video to discuss section 3 of your IEP performance template. This is for section 3 and also the last section of this template that you will be filling out during your student teaching experience when placed in a special education classroom. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of the assignment. For section 1, you already addressed the contextual factors of your classroom, your school, and your district. Section 2 was the development of an IEP plan. You worked with your mentor teacher and also all of the teachers that your student comes into contact with during their school day in order to create a plan that discusses the strengths and needs of your student and also the supports that student needs during their school day to be successful. Now, this section, section 3, is your chance to prepare for the IEP meeting and also the delivery of the IEP during the meeting. Now, in this section, you are going to first outline all of the participants, their roles and responsibilities during the meeting, and also some meeting norms that you have identified that you would like to uphold during your meeting. An example of a meeting norm might be that you want to make sure as the meeting facilitator that you are calling on and asking for input from all members of the IEP team. You may need to prompt some of the more quiet individuals to make sure that their input is being considered during the process. You're also going to outline and explain in detail your meeting agenda and what will be covered during the IEP meeting. You will want to have a plan for conflicts throughout the meeting, and you will want to actually identify your plan. One plan for conflict that I had during my meetings was if a parent wanted to discuss something that was unrelated to the IEP document. For example, they wanted to discuss that their child didn't like their math teacher. I want to make sure that they feel heard, but I also need to make sure we're sticking to the agenda. And so what I did was I wrote down the parents' concerns about the math teacher, an outline of some of the concerns, and said that we would hold a separate meeting at a different time to discuss that more at length. In that way, parents felt heard. They knew what would be addressed at some point shortly, just not during this meeting. And so you will want to have a plan for conflicts as well. You can consider using mine and also additional plans for conflict that your mentor teacher provides you with. You're then going to record a mock IEP meeting video. You can record this IEP meeting on Zoom, on Canva. And what many students do is they record this meeting by themselves. And so they will discuss the sequence of their agenda and go through the IEP document and all of the components that they included in their IEP document while referring to people who are at the table that aren't really there. Other students decide to include some of their colleagues and they recruit some of their fellow teachers to be a part of the meeting. And in that way, they can actually role play and take on the pseudonyms of the people that would actually be attending the meeting. You can do either. When you're recording your meeting, you will want to cover as much of the IEP document as possible, and also being sure not to exceed 15 minutes. At the 15-minute mark, you will want to end the meeting and then submit your video link right here on this section 3 document. Now, after you've submitted your IEP video, you will also have a reflection piece in which you're reflecting on your areas of strength and also your areas of growth that you would like to get better at as an IEP meeting facilitator and special education teacher. After the meeting is complete, all special education teachers are required by law to give parents what is called a prior written notice. Sometimes we call it a PWN. Now, this prior written notice needs to be given. Best practice is within 24 hours of the IEP meeting. It needs to be given to parents before the school starts implementing what was discussed at the meeting. And in this way, IDEA provides that parents need to have enough notice to think about what was discussed at the meeting before the school actually implements the decisions that were made. And so on this prior written notice, you will want to cover all of the bolded topics. What was the proposed action of the school? What was the action that an explanation as to why the school is proposing this action? What did the agency or the school consider? What did the school consider but reject? And also all relevant factors like the data that you use to make the decision and any other factors related to the decision needs to be recorded here. Now, it is best practice to avoid writing NA or not applicable on any section of this prior written notice. You want to avoid that. You will need to write for each section. At the end, this very last bolded indicator says, description of any other factors that are relevant to the agency's proposal or refusal. Now, in this section, you're going to identify anything at the meeting that was discussed that may be relevant at a separate time. For example, at this section, I usually put information like this student is planning on joining the school band in the fall, or the parents are considering enrolling the child in summer school to work on some skills that during a summer school program. All of those other factors need to be included in that last section. You are doing a wonderful job. You are doing really hard things. Teaching can be hard. It's also very rewarding. Your school supports you, and we are here for you for any questions or concerns that you may have. And so during this entire process, whether it be the student teaching experience or writing this document, please reach out to your mentor teacher, your supervisor, your GCU instructor, your student placement coordinator. We are all happy to talk to you about any questions or concerns that you have. You are our #1 priority. You are almost at the finish line, and we are very excited for you.